Welcome to the Unblock Your Business podcast. I'm Abby Rogers, success coach, business coach and hypnotherapist, and I help high achievers and business leaders master their subconscious habits for success, income goals and, above all, happiness. But success isn't just about mindset or strategy. It's about combining both and sealing the deal with a big dose of subconscious alignment, because our subconscious holds the true key to unlocking our potential. Let's dive in and look at how you can show up bigger, better, and more uniquely aligned in life and business today. Hi there, and welcome back to the Unblock Your Business podcast. Great to have you with me today. And what we're looking at today is dealing with other people's perceptions in your business, which is a really fascinating area, and I think one that affects a lot of us. So the reason this came about was because a few weeks ago I ran an intensive money mindset training session in my membership, the Aligned Mind and Business Academy. And one really interesting question that came up was how to deal with a partner's negative money mindset. Now, so often our ability to make progress in our business can be influenced and even really stifled by those we love. And that's certainly been the case for me at various points in my business. But of course, this runs much deeper than money mindset. It's often about other people's perceptions of our business as a whole. So I opened up this question to my free group, Unblock Your Business, and there was an influx of responses, really one that everybody jumped on and was keen to comment and share their experiences. And yeah, people's parents, spouses, in-laws, well-meaning friends and relatives, essentially making light of their businesses or not taking them seriously. And there were some pretty shocking stories in there. We can definitely tell you that. So basically, we're going to look today at how you can deal with that and how you can stop those negative perceptions affecting how you feel about your business or about yourself, and how you can stop that from showing up in your business in terms of affecting the things you do and getting in your way of making progress. Because so often those negative emotions really have an impact on us and they limit our ability to move forward and stop us showing up as fully as we would like. And so here is how we do it. So what I've noticed is that wonderful things start to happen when we really flip that around. And instead of saying, oh, such and such thinks this of my business, basically saying, well, they might think that of my business, but I choose not to be affected by it. And when I choose not to be affected by it, how does that look in my world? How does that show up differently? What starts to change in my world if I refuse to be affected by their thoughts and feelings? And what impact might that then have on those people who have those negative thoughts and beliefs in the first place? Now, we often really fear going there. That feels like being really assertive, and that can feel really scary to us. And our tendency, just really generalising here, but as women in particular, is to people please and not upset the apple cart and just even really suppress what we believe is good for us or what we believe is the right thing to do, because we're just so scared of confrontation or of putting our foot down in the world. But we don't have to do confrontation. Confrontation is probably the worst thing you can do, because that just tends to get people more entrenched in their opinions. So actually it's much more subtle and gentle than that. I think what we also tend to do is make enormous assumptions in doing that, in people pleasing. And we often assume far more bad stuff is going to happen than actually will happen. So we end up compromising ourselves far too much. We end up really making ourselves way smaller than we would need to. And we're just assuming what's going on in other people's minds. So really the only way to shift somebody else's perspective effectively is to stand our ground and stay true to our beliefs, and to basically show them with love that it's okay and it's safe to do things our way. And sometimes that just takes confidence of steel, basically, to be able to do that and to be able to just keep persevering with our vision and our beliefs and the things we want to do, even when those that we love don't really agree with what we're doing or don't understand what we're doing. And if we can do that, then usually what happens is gradually their perspective will start to shift too. For the most part, not for everybody, but very often that's what happens. Because usually their negativity is coming from a place of fear and concern for us. They don't often put it across very well, but they're usually trying to protect us from what they view as something scary or threatening in their world. So if we can show them that there is nothing to be afraid of and that we're doing things our way and it's fine and we're still surviving and it's working, then gradually they'll start to accept it, and maybe they'll even turn around and give us a big pat on the back in the fullness of time. Not always. Sometimes people are just that entrenched in their beliefs and they want to stick with them, and there's just no changing them. And when that happens, we just have to choose instead to protect ourselves. So we have to just choose to feel worthy, even if other people don't believe it, and almost just put up a shield for ourselves where we just allow their negative comments to bounce off us and just accept that that is how people are and how they think, and that it doesn't have to affect us too. Now, I think the other interesting thing is that expectation has an enormous role to play in how people respond as well, which is really fascinating. But essentially, when we expect certain behaviours of people, they tend to play into those expectations. They tend to come true. So I don't know if you have kids or if you've hung around with parents with kids, and you may have noticed similar things too. So when I'm expecting the worst of my kids' behaviour, they definitely pick up on that and they tend to behave all the worse. When I have a better day where I focus on all their good qualities instead, and I just trust them to do a good job and treat them as a good person, then usually things will start to shift in the right direction and their behaviour will improve too. So it's the same with everybody. If we expect the worst of our partners, then we'll tend to give off kind of negative vibes in their direction, and they will take on that negativity, that anxiety, and they will respond and behave worse for that. Whereas if we can just very calmly go about doing things our own way and not being confrontational, as I say, but just being open and honest about the way we're doing things and our reasons for them, and stand firm in our beliefs in just a very gentle, assertive way. And very often it ends up being nowhere near as big of a deal as we imagine. And what tends to happen is they start to relax too, and they start to accept. Now, this is all down to little tiny cells in our brain called mirror neurons, which are basically there just to encourage everybody around us, all those we love, our whole tribe, to feel and to do similar things at the same time. It was very, very useful back in evolutionary times, but it persists now. It's still something that very much happens. So when we're feeling happy, everybody around us feels happy. When we're feeling sad, everybody picks up on it too. And you can really turn that to your advantage if you choose to. So if you want others to have confidence in you, first you have to have confidence in yourself. If you want others to value you, first of all, you have to value yourself. And if you want them to believe in you, then guess what? You've got to believe in yourself first too. And that goes for everything through from family and friends right through to maybe prospective clients on those sales calls, and even real life clients too. If you can show up with absolute faith and belief in what you're doing and in those clients too, then that really translates and they will start to believe in the whole process too. So it's really, really powerful stuff. So I hope that was interesting. I hope that's proved helpful to you, and I would love to know if any of those tips have resonated with you. I would also love to know if you've got any shocking experiences of family and friends and relatives or anybody else being, shall we say, slightly less than complimentary of your business. So if you have any of those stories to share, pop over to my Unblock Your Business free Facebook group and share away. We would love to connect with you and hear your stories too. So thank you for listening today. I hope that's been helpful. Have a great week, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Thanks for listening. I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, it would be incredible if you could pop a review on iTunes, Google, Spotify, or your favourite podcast platform. And if you want to dive deeper, you can find me in my Facebook group Unblock Your Business or at www.unblockyourbusiness.com.